If you sit for most of the day, your body has already started adapting in ways you cannot see yet. And the scary part is this adaptation happens so gradually that most people never notice until problems appear suddenly. Your body is incredibly efficient. When you sit for hours every day, it starts optimizing itself specifically for sitting. Certain muscles get switched off completely because your body decides they are simply not needed while you are seated. Other muscles get overworked and shortened because they are constantly holding you in that same fixed seated position daily. This is not a character flaw or a laziness issue. It is basic human biology doing exactly what it is designed to do. But here is where the real problem starts to develop and why so many people experience chronic pain from sitting. Most people do not just sit upright. They slouch forward, they lean to one side, they twist toward their screen constantly. Every small comfort adjustment you make while sitting is quietly training your body to hold a new dysfunctional position permanently. Over time, these habits create a very recognizable posture pattern that you have probably already noticed in yourself or others. The head pushes forward past the shoulders instead of sitting directly on top of the spine where it belongs naturally. The mid-back and shoulders round forward, creating that hunched appearance that makes people look tired and much older than they are. The lower back arches excessively, and the pelvis tilts forward in what is called an anterior pelvic tilt position. And to make everything worse, sitting habits are almost never perfectly symmetrical, which creates a whole additional layer of problems. Most people lean slightly more to one side. Most people cross the same leg repeatedly. Most people favor one armrest consistently. These small asymmetrical habits cause the muscles on one side of your body to become significantly tighter than the other side. That tightness on one side can cause a visible drooping or unevenness that affects how your entire body moves and feels. The result of all this is tightness and aching in the neck, the shoulders, the lower back, and surrounding areas daily. It also makes it genuinely harder to exercise properly in the gym because your movement patterns have been quietly compromised over time. But here is the good news, and it is actually very good news if you have been dealing with any of this. These postural problems are not permanent. They are not caused by damage. They are caused by muscle imbalances that can be corrected. Research across multiple studies confirms that these posture patterns are simply the result of muscles becoming underactive and weak over time. Other muscles become overactive and shortened over the same period, and together they pull your body into this new problematic posture. That means the solution is straightforward. Mobilize what has tightened, strengthen what has weakened, address any asymmetries that have developed. Today, you are going to learn 2 simple 5-minute routines specifically designed to do exactly those 3 things for your body. The first routine targets the upper body. The second routine targets the lower body. Each routine contains just 4 exercises total. Neither routine requires a gym membership or any special equipment. You can do both of them almost anywhere at any time. Let us start with the first routine and the very first exercise, which addresses that hunched forward shoulder and chest position directly. The exercise is called over and backs, and you can perform it using either a resistance band or a simple household towel. This movement works by opening up and stretching the chest and shoulder muscles that have shortened from hours of forward leaning daily. Grip the band or towel with a wide overhand grip and pull it slightly apart to create a small amount of tension. Without bending your elbows, raise it slowly up over your head and then continue bringing it down behind your back carefully. Go only as far as your current mobility allows. Never force the movement or push through sharp pain or discomfort here. When the band reaches behind your back, focus on gently pulling your hands apart from each other to deepen the stretch slightly. Start with the widest grip that feels comfortable for your shoulders. Narrow the grip gradually over weeks as your mobility improves consistently. This single exercise done regularly will progressively open up the chest and shoulders that sitting has been slowly closing down over time. The second exercise in this routine is one of the most effective stretches ever created for people who sit all day long. It is called the cobra pose, and it works by reversing almost every single position your body holds during prolonged sitting. Think about your sitting posture for a moment. Hips flexed, spine curved, chest collapsed forward, shoulders rounding, head pushed forward past shoulders. Now picture the cobra pose. Hips extended, spine lengthened, chest open and lifted, shoulders back and down, head in neutral alignment. It is almost a perfect mirror image of everything sitting does to your body, which is exactly why it works so well. To perform it correctly, lie on your stomach with your feet about hip-width apart and your toes pointing straight down. Place your hands directly under your shoulders with your palms flat against the floor and your elbows close to your sides. Before lifting, contract your quads firmly so that your knees lift slightly off the ground. This protects your lower back during the movement. Draw your shoulder blades down and back away from your ears before you begin to lift your upper body at all. Now, lengthen your spine by thinking about bringing your chest forward and upward using your back muscles to initiate the movement. Your arms are not there to push you up. They are simply there for light guidance and balance during the stretch. You should feel your mid and lower back muscles doing the actual work of lifting your upper body off the ground. Hold the top position for several deep, slow breaths before lowering back down and repeating for additional reps with control. This exercise done consistently will begin reversing the spinal compression and muscular shutdown that sitting causes throughout your entire back daily. Now, let us address something that most posture videos completely ignore, and that is the asymmetries caused by uneven sitting habits. Because posture is not just a front-to-back problem. For most people, it is also a left-to-right problem simultaneously. Years of leaning to one side or crossing the same leg have created tightness on one side of your body specifically. This tightness in the muscles along your side, particularly the quadratus lumborum, can cause your body to droop visibly on that side. The third exercise addresses this directly with a simple movement called the standing diagonal reach, performed one side at a time carefully. Stand tall and place one hand on your hip to anchor that side of your body in place during the stretch.
With your other arm, reach up and diagonally back behind your body, aiming toward the upper corner of the room behind you. Experiment with slightly different angles until you find the exact position that creates the deepest stretch along the side of your torso. Hold that end position for 5 to 10 seconds, breathing steadily, and then repeat for several reps before switching sides completely. You will almost certainly notice that one side feels significantly tighter than the other. That is completely normal and expected here. Spend extra time and perform additional reps on whichever side feels tighter to gradually bring both sides back into better balance. The fourth and final exercise in the upper body routine targets two of the most commonly weakened muscle groups from sitting daily. Those are the lower trapezius muscles that allow your shoulders to sit back properly, and the deep neck flexors in your throat area. When both of these muscle groups weaken, your shoulders round forward and your head pushes forward, creating that classic sitting posture appearance. The exercise that addresses both problems simultaneously is called wall slides with chin tucks, and it is remarkably effective for both issues. Stand with your back flat against a wall and try to get both your upper back and lower back touching the wall. Place your arms against the wall in a goalpost position and slowly slide them upward along the wall and then back down. As you slide your arms up, simultaneously perform a chin tuck by drawing your chin straight back to give yourself a double chin appearance. You should feel a strong contraction in your mid-back muscles as your arms rise and your shoulder blades pull together. You should also feel the muscles along the front of your neck working as you perform each chin tuck movement carefully. This combination trains your body to hold your shoulders back and your head in proper neutral alignment at the same time. If the wall version feels too difficult to start, you can perform shoulder W exercises away from the wall as an easier alternative. That completes the first routine, 4 exercises, 5 minutes, targeting every major upper body issue that prolonged sitting creates over time. Now, let us move into the second routine, which focuses on the mid-back, hips, and the glutes that sitting shuts down. The first exercise here addresses something called thoracic mobility, which refers to how well your mid-back can twist and rotate freely. Sitting locks up the thoracic spine over time, which not only creates that hunched appearance, but also causes compensation problems lower down in the body. When your mid-back cannot move well, your lower back picks up the slack, and that is often where chronic pain begins developing. The exercise to restore this mobility is called thoracic rotations, and it is performed in a comfortable position on all fours easily.
Get on your hands and knees and then sit your hips back toward your heels to create a stable base position. Extend one arm straight out in front of you on the ground and place your other hand gently behind your neck. Bring the elbow of your raised arm down toward the floor and then rotate it upward toward the ceiling as far as possible. Follow your elbow with your eyes as you rotate so your entire upper body participates in the movement rather than just your arm. Hold the top rotated position briefly before returning down and completing your reps on that side before switching to the opposite side. You should feel a satisfying stretch through your mid-back area with each rotation as that stiffened area gradually begins opening up. Next, we move to one of the most important stretches in this entire routine for fixing that anterior pelvic tilt problem directly. The hip flexors are the muscles that run from your lower back and pelvis down to the top of your thigh bones. When you sit, they stay in a shortened, contracted position for hours on end, and over time, they simply stay shortened permanently. Those shortened hip flexors then pull your pelvis forward into that anterior tilt, which creates the excessive lower back arch you see commonly. To stretch them properly, you will perform a kneeling hip flexor stretch, but most people miss the single most important step here. Before you lean forward into the stretch, you must first posteriorly tilt your pelvis by squeezing your glutes and contracting your abdominals firmly. Setting your pelvis correctly before stretching is what makes this exercise genuinely effective, rather than just feeling like you are doing something helpful. Once your pelvis is properly set, gently lean your body forward until you feel a deep stretch in the front hip of your back leg. Hold that position for 10 deep, slow breaths before switching sides and repeating the exact same pelvic setting process on the other leg. Skipping the pelvic tilt step is why most people stretch their hip flexors for months and never notice any meaningful improvement at all. The third exercise in this routine takes hip flexor work even further, while also opening up the external hip rotators simultaneously. It also helps correct any rotational asymmetries in your hips, which are extremely common in people who regularly cross their legs while sitting. For this exercise, you will need a couch, a chair, or any elevated surface that is roughly knee height for your body. Place your front leg bent across the top of the elevated surface, with your knee pointing out to one side comfortably. Extend your back leg fully straight behind you so that your hip flexor on that back side is getting a thorough lengthening stretch. Place your hands on your front foot and knee for support. Then brace your core and hinge forward from your hips slowly. Lower your chest toward your front shin until you feel a deep stretch in the outer side of your front hip area. You can gently shift your position and angle slightly to find the exact spot where the stretch feels most effective for you. Hold it there for several breaths, then switch sides and notice whether one hip is significantly tighter than the other side is.
If one side is dramatically tighter, spend extra time there and work that side through more reps until both sides feel more balanced. If getting on a couch feels difficult, an alternative is to perform this stretch seated with your foot resting on the opposite knee. Simply drop your chest forward toward your foot while seated, and you will feel a very similar stretch in the outer hip. Now we arrive at the fourth and final exercise, and this one is critically important for fixing that anterior pelvic tilt for good. It is the glute bridge, and its purpose is to wake up and strengthen the glutes that prolonged sitting has completely shut down. Your glutes are supposed to be one of the most powerful muscle groups in your entire body at any given time. But when you sit on them for 8 to 10 hours daily, they gradually forget how to fire properly and effectively during movement. Weak glutes cannot hold your pelvis in neutral, which is a major reason that anterior tilt and lower back arch persist stubbornly.
Here is the critical point that most people miss when performing glute bridges and why their results are so disappointing over time. You must perform the stretches in this routine before attempting the glute bridge exercise. This sequence is not arbitrary or decorative at all. Research has confirmed that tight hip flexors actively inhibit glute activation, making it genuinely difficult for your glutes to contract properly during exercise. If you skip the stretches and go straight to glute bridges, your hip flexors will continue dominating the movement and your glutes will not engage. To perform glute bridges correctly, lie on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor hip-width apart. Before lifting, first squeeze your glutes and pull your belly button in to create a posterior pelvic tilt at the base. Once that pelvic position is set, drive your hips up toward the ceiling by pushing through your heels and squeezing your glutes hard. Keep your back straight as you rise. Do not allow your lower back to arch excessively at the top of the movement. Hold the top position for a full second while actively squeezing your glutes before lowering back down with control for the next rep. As you get stronger over weeks, you can progress to single-leg glute bridges, which also help correct any strength differences between sides. People who stand all day at work develop remarkably similar postural imbalances to those who sit all day at a desk. The real enemy is staying in any single position for too long without moving, breaking the position, or varying your body mechanics at all. The solution is not just these routines. It is also developing general awareness of your body position throughout every hour of your day. Take regular breaks from whatever position you spend most of your time in, whether that is sitting, standing, or anything else entirely. Move more in general. Walk between tasks. Stretch briefly at your desk. Change positions more frequently than you currently do each day. These small habits, combined with the 2 routines outlined today, will create genuinely lasting changes in how your body looks, feels, and moves. You will stand taller. You will move more freely. Your neck and lower back pain will gradually reduce and eventually disappear completely. Your gym performance will improve because your movement patterns will no longer be compromised by the imbalances sitting has quietly been building. This is not a complicated fix. It is a consistent one. 10 minutes a day and genuine awareness are all that is required. Start today. Do both routines once. Notice which exercises reveal the tightest areas. Pay extra attention to those areas going forward consistently. Your body adapted to sitting over months and years. It will adapt back toward better posture over weeks and months of consistent work. The process is simple, the commitment is small, and the results, when you stay consistent, will genuinely surprise you over time.